Hello everyone, and welcome to Chess with M&M. Today we will see a game happened in 1968 between one of the greatest chess players ever, Bobby Fischer, and the I am Antony SAIDY. And this game we will see a beautiful game, and one of the most beautiful games that Fischer played ever. And I don't want to talk so much actually, so let's just get started. Anthony with the white pieces and Fischer with the black pieces. Anthony started by c4. The English opening by Anthony. e5 by Fischer. Knight to c3 developing the knight. Knight to c6 developing the knight 2 and g3. g3 the idea is preparing to playing bishop g2 and developing the bishop on the h1a8 diagonal. f5 by Fischer. Nice controlling of the center by the f5 and the e5 pawns. Bishop to g2 developing the bishop and knight to f6 by Fischer, and this is the king's English variation in the English opening. d3 the main line in this variation. The idea from d3 and c4 is controlling the a4 and d5 square to keep this diagonal open for the bishop on g2. Bishop to c5 developing the bishop and preparing to castling, and e3 making room for the knight to coming to the e2 and then castling, and here f4 by Fischer. Now f4 is not the best move in this position and it's a pawn sacrifice by Fischer, but it's a good move. Now what's the idea from this move? The idea is sacrificing the f pawn to opening this file for the rook when he coming to the f8 after castling, and opening this e file on this king on the e1. So here e takes on f4 by Anthony, castling by Fischer, and knight g to e2 preparing to castling, queen to e8, queen to e8 preparing to bring the queen to the king side to the attack, and castling by Anthony, and d6 by Fischer. d6 supporting the pawn on e4, on e5, sorry. Knight to a4 by Anthony. The idea from knight to a4 is threatening the bishop on c5, and bishop to d4 by Fischer. If you want to take this bishop, okay, take it, but develop my pieces if you want to take it. And here Anthony accepted the challenge and he take it. Knight takes on d4 and e takes on d4. So nice pawn on d4, controlling the c3 square and not allow the knight to come back to the c3, and controlling the e3 square and not allow this bishop to develop himself to the e3 square. So nice pawn on d4. h3 h3 the idea is controlling the g4 square and not allow the white to playing bishop to g4 and develop his bishop with tempo on the queen. h5 by Fischer. h5 taking a space on the king side, sorry, and a3 by Anthony. The idea from a3, as you taking a space on the king side, I will take a space, sorry, on the queen side by a3 and b4. But here Fischer played a5. Don't take a space on the queen side, don't take a space on the king side, each side it's mine. So here Anthony said, okay, I will play b3 and show me what you will do with the each sides. And here Fischer played queen to g6. I will show you what I will do. Queen to g6, putting a pressure on the d3 square. Knight back to b2, and this is one of the ideas from b3, is making room for the knight to coming to the b2 and supporting the pawn on d3. Bishop to f5, putting a lot of pressure on the d3 square, and queen to c2 by Anthony. Queen to c2 making room for the rook to coming to the d1 to supporting the pawn in the future. Knight to d7 by Fischer. Knight to d7, the idea is playing knight to c5 and threatening the pawn on d3. So here Anthony played rook to e1. Rook to e1, developing the rook on the open file and making room for bishop to coming to f1 and guarding the pawn on d3 square. Knight to c5, give me the pawn. Bishop to f1, guarding the pawn. And here, so beautiful idea by Fischer, and it is rook to a6. Now rook to a6, this knight on c5 is putting a pressure on the d3 square and also putting a pressure on the b3 square. So here rook to a6, the idea is playing rook to b6 and then capturing the pawn on b3. So simple. So here Anthony played bishop to d2. Bishop to d2, if you played rook to b6 and this would happen in the game, I will play bishop takes on a5. Now bishop takes on a5, I'm threatening your rook on b6, and if you take my bishop, knight takes on a5, I will play b4. b4, threatening your knight on c5 and a5, and after knight back to c6, b takes on c5, d takes on c5. Okay, I lost the pawn on b4, but I won another pawn on a5, so technically I didn't lose anything. So here, after bishop takes on a5, here Fischer said, okay, what is your problem? You want to take, you want me to take your knight, and then you want to push b3, b4. Okay, I'll take the pawn on b3. Rook takes on b3, and now you don't have b3, b4 anymore. So I'm threatening your bishop on a5. So you have to move your bishop. Bishop back to b2. Here he moved his bishop, and he said, okay, I will move my bishop back, and okay, you take the pawn on b3, I take the pawn on a5, so technically we're equal. But here Fischer played rook to a8, rook to a8, and he said we are not equal, because if you remember, you are up a pawn by the pawn which you took on the f4 in the opening. So rook to a8, I want to retake my pawn by threatening your pawn on a3. So here Anthony played a4 to guarding his a pawn, and rook to a6 by Fischer. Rook to a6, the idea is bringing this rook to the b file to supporting his brother on the b3. So here Anthony played a5. a5 saying to this rook on a6, the rook on b3 saying hello to you, and he said I'm fine on b3, so no need to come to the b file to support me, I'm fine. So here Fischer said, okay, I will play king to h7. King to h7 is a prophylactic move. The idea is going away from any checks maybe happen from the back rank, and rook to d1 by Anthony. Rook to d1 to supporting the d3 pawn. And here, by the way, you cannot take the pawn. Maybe you're asking here, there is four piece attacking this pawn, while there is three piece guarding this pawn, but actually you cannot take the pawn on d3, because here if Fischer didn't play king to h7 and he played knight takes on d3, if he take it by the knight, then he will lose his rook on b3. So you cannot take it by the knight, and even you cannot take it by the bishop, because after bishop takes on d3, I have bishop takes on d3. You cannot take by the knight because you will lose your rook, and if you take by the rook, I will trade my knight with your rook. So technically you cannot take the pawn on d3. So here Fischer played the king to h7, and after rook e to d1 to supporting this pawn on d3, Fischer played b6. b6, I want my pawn, please. Bishop back to e1 by Anthony. The idea is opening the fire for the rook to supporting the d3 pawn, and his idea is if Fischer take the pawn by b takes on a5, I will play knight to a4, and this is what happened in the game. The idea from knight to a4 is threatening the knight on c5, which is the only defender of the rook to b3, and then after I capture the knight, I will capture the rook. So here Fischer said, what is your problem? You want the rook? Okay, take the rook. Rook takes on d3. Now it seems like a rook sacrifice for a bishop, but actually it's not, because here after rook takes on d3, bishop takes on d3. Fischer played bishop takes on d3. Bishop takes on d3, threatening the queen. Queen to a2 by Anthony, and knight to b4 by Fischer. Knight to b4 threatening the queen on a2. Queen to a3, and knight to c2, making fork between the rook and the queen. And here maybe you're asking why Anthony played queen to a2, why he example didn't play queen to b2. Now here if you played queen to, even if you played queen to b2, I can take the knight takes on a4, and after rook takes on a4, rook takes on a4, and after rook takes on a4, and the connection has been lost.
5 minutes later.
Okay, and after rook takes on a4, I have queen to c2 to making fork between the rooks, so no problem. So here he decided to play queen to a3, and after knight to c2 by Fischer, queen to b2, moving away from the threat. Knight takes on a1, retaking his rook which he sacrificed. Rook takes on a1, knight takes on a4 by Fischer, rook takes on a4 by Anthony, and queen to e4. Queen to e4, threatening the bishop on e1, and here Anthony played a so big blunder, and it is bishop takes on a4. Now, why this move is blunder? Here I wanted to pause the video and try to find the move which Fischer played. If you found the move, congratulations, you are a good player in the tactic. It's not too hard move to find, and at the same time it's not too easy move to find. The move is rook takes on a5. Now the idea from rook takes to a5, after rook takes to a5, here the idea is playing queen to e1, queen to e1 check, queen to e1 check, making fork between the king and the rook. And after king to h2, Fischer played queen takes on a5, and in this position Anthony resigned the game. Now why he resigned the game? Because you are down a piece against Fischer, and if you down a piece against Fischer, you will lose the game. Alright, so in this position Anthony resigned the game. So hope you enjoyed the video and learn from it. Please don't forget us by the like and subscribe, and see you in the next video.